Hello everyone, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and this video will be a garden update video. So, because it's pretty safe for me to have things out, shouldn't be too frosty, I've started the rest of my seedlings in my trays, and I'll actually be starting a lot more because I'm expanding my container garden by quite a bit. So, these are the buckets that I had prepared and enough dirt for from last year. Now, only 3 of them have anything in them so far. Most of them will get things from those seed trays, but I might direct sow a few things. Most of those small buckets will be things like spinach, and the big buckets will get things like kale and beans and peas and stuff like that. Now, I'm not sure about this little purple guy. This is a volunteer. Pretty sure these guys are onion. Pretty sure. All volunteers. So, over here I just have the sunflower and gold leaf tobacco planted at the base of the fence. Those will all be decorative. Well, the sunflowers I will get the seeds from and see what I can do with those. And there will be rows of kale and spinach here, and some other vegetables that I'll direct sow, and partially sow from the transplant pods over there. I've got my squash, carrots, beets, strawberries, watermelon, sunflower, tobacco over here. Or no tobacco over here. But as I see things sprout up, I'll know where I can add a couple things like nasturtiums and marigolds, which are very good companion plants. If you want to hear about that, I'll put some links to Palmetto Prepared's videos about companion plants in the description down below. He has a lot of great garden and plant advice, which I strongly suggest you check out. So I will be expanding my container garden with this yard of garden mixed dirt with manure that I picked up today with the assistance of my coworker Chuck. Thank you, Chuck, once again. He took me with his truck because sadly I am without a truck at this current part of my life. And we went to the nursery and got some pretty decent dirt. Pretty nice stuff. Much better than what's in my garden plots over there. And I'll be using this to container garden with. Pretty excited. They laughed. They laughed when I collected the buckets. But I'm laughing. Not right now, but I have been laughing about this. I enjoy it. The lasagna grass is still trying to live in there. It's a little hard to see, but there's a lot of green grass just poking out the sides there. It'll be a while before it bakes off and dies, but I'll end up having some dirt that I can work with there once the grass has sort of gotten out of the way, and I can plant some other stuff in those crates. The worms are happily doing their job in there. Let's see if we can check out a little bit of worm action. So, for those of you who haven't heard me talk about this, I do intend to make videos talking about vermiculture or worm farming. Worms produce amazing compost. Their castings, which is their poo, and their urine are both gold for growing. So what I have in here is just sod. Oh, look at this guy. Man, I need to figure out the white balance on this thing. So my worms are pretty active in here. This clod of grass sod alone has a few worms on it. I don't think this one has too much by the way of food waste. I think it is almost entirely leaf mulch that I got from Chuck, my coworker, who's just really being very helpful for me to utilize to get my garden going really well. And he knows he's going to get produce out of it. Anyways, those 4 buckets have each of them a pretty lively colony of worms eating away at leaf mulch and food scraps that I'm adding in proper proportions, which we can talk about later. But what they're going to do is produce additives, organic prime additives that I can use to amend this soil and the soil that's in my other buckets and the soil that's in my ground to provide a lot more of the exact nutrients that my plants need. Worms are arguably among some of the most important engineers of our natural environment. They produce the topsoil that we need to produce our food. And trying to farm without those natural ingredients is pretty tough. That's why we have a very large industrial fertilizer network to help us sort of force feed our food growth. And that's maybe something. I don't know. I haven't checked up on our industrial fertilizer production systems during all of this, but I can't imagine it's going great. There's a lot of bottlenecks out there, people, and they're all tightening right now. So I am a firm believer in the victory garden, and that's why I'm spending money to make money to help me and the people around me produce food security for ourselves. So I'm going to be sharing some of my food dirt buckets with some of my friends, and I've definitely been doing what I can to build community, been helping my neighbors with their projects, and talking to some of you guys, some of my family, some of my friends around here, making sure everyone's, okay and has what they need, and seeing where they are with all of this stuff, what they think is their new baseline and where we're going. But we can talk about that another day. Suffice it to say, I have the gardening bug, and I'm going to be producing a lot of food. I got my potato starts today. I've got some food produce section potatoes that I'm trying to chit, but I think they're probably been given something to keep them from sprouting. So I went ahead and bought a few pounds of potato starts. So we're going to see just how well these smaller reds do in 5-gallon buckets. And we're going to be doing a lot of herb gardening. So, anyways, I thought I'd get a little bit of a garden update out there. It is true what Ontario Homestead, link down below, says. A lot of it's about motivation. And I've got a lot of motivation to try to produce some food security. And that's pretty much all I've been doing if I haven't been at work. So pardon me for not getting videos out. Sometimes when I'm done with everything else, I just sort of lose my mental steam. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well. If there's anything you think that I can do to help you, definitely let me know at ltaprepping@gmail.com. Everybody stay safe out there.